think we're about ready to get this show started. Shall we do here? All right. Hey, folks, it's Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I think it's time to get this show started. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show today. Where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. Come to you each and every day to talk to you about that. And I want to welcome everybody to the show. We come to you Monday through Friday, and I want to welcome all of our guests who said that they didn't see us yesterday. And there's a good reason for that, because we were actually out on location yesterday filming a segment. So had to get out of here early in the morning to get out because we were on location and it was just crazy. So we'll try to avoid that, but sometimes it just happens where you gotta go out there and do your thing. So it was fun, and we'll air that segment probably next week when we do some editing on it. Also going out again today. I've got a couple of segments to do today. It's going to be a really busy morning. So we want to advise you. We may not get the newsletter out again today because we're going to be really busy this morning, and I just actually remembered about that. We have actually two segments to do today. So we'll definitely be jetting out of here, just changing things up. But we're here now, right? So I want to welcome all of our friends on Facebook. I'm opening up the pages now. And if you're on our Livin in Vegas group page or our Livin Weekly page or on our business page for Livin in Vegas, we are up and running right now so we can actually see you. And be sure to chime in if you've got anything you'd like to say, you'd like to tell us about what's going on in your life and your business is up and running. I really want you to say something about that. Some of you, this might be your first time checking us out. And you may not know who I am. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. And, good morning, Pastor Pasquale. He's up. A good friend of mine. I'll tell you, I've known Pastor Pasquale for, since I was a kid. I mean, we were kids. And now he's a world-renowned pastor, travels all over the globe. He's just a rock star. We refer to it as a jammin' for the lamb. So I want to welcome him to the show. Thank you for tuning in. But he knows who I am. But some of you may not know who I am. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. Also, we do a magazine called Livin Weekly magazine. And that's the cover for Livin Weekly. We've got a new one coming out this week. So be checking that out, coming out Friday. So the new Livin Weekly will come out tomorrow. And definitely want you to check out either one of those or both of them, either Livin Weekly or Livin in Vegas magazine. Just go to our website at livininvegas.com. You can check those out. We're also starting a new thing. I know we're always doing something new. We are. But this is really cool. We want you to check this out. And it's called Livin Expos. So let's check out Livin Expos if you can. Let's see if I can even play it. And it won't play. That's weird. Let's see if there we go. All right. So, Livin Expos, folks. Livin Expos we're really excited about Livin Expos. Really are. Teaming up with Tina Marie Hepner. And Tina Marie is a rock star in the networking, I don't know what you call it, game. So for those of you, this might be, I mean, a lot of people, I assume a lot of things that people know who the heck I am, I guess. But I used to do a lot of events. I've done well over 100 events over the last, 20 years or so. And so when we started the magazine, it really, the media company, it's pretty obvious that I was never going to stop doing events. But but we wanted to partner with somebody because it's a heavy lift to do everything with the small band of people we have. And so We found somebody that fell in love with a long time ago. Her name is Tina Marie Hepner, and Tina Marie has a company called Bulldog Plumbing, but she actually has Bulldog Events. Uh, and so we teamed up with her. So we're putting on um, Vegas Livin expos, and keep your ears open for that, folks, because we're planning our first expo coming up in the next couple of weeks. Actually, it'll be a couple of weeks, so we'll start telling everybody about it. It's a vendor event. You're gonna have a ton of people out there. It should be really super fun, and I don't know, you just got to keep open for it. Okay, let's pay some bills here and we'll get on with the show. Okay. Hi everybody, it's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, folks, and we're back. This is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local, because that's what we do. We talk about all the local stuff. And there's actually a local story that we want to start off the day with. And this is actually pretty cool because a friend of mine is actually working on this project. This is a new tower that is going to be going up. It's a $900 million tower that's going to be going up in all places, not in Las Vegas, folks. It's actually starting in Henderson. It's the first residential high-rise in the Las Vegas Valley since the Great Recession. And my friend Rich McDonald, who, yeah, you've heard the name right, McDonald Ranch, is working on this just incredible construction project. And this is kind of a depiction of one of the towers. I think they've got two towers that they're going to be working on. And this is really exciting. I mean, really exciting stuff that Rich is going to be working on this. Some of you probably heard of Dragon Ridge Golf Club or the McDonald Ranch area, that kind of stuff. Well, Rich McDonald, pretty good friend of mine, is the guy who owns that. And he's just a fantastic guy. These particular towers are going to be condo towers. And they're going to be, where's it located at, though? I don't think it actually had the location of it, but they're breaking ground like this week. So the city of Henderson gave them the green light to go ahead and get started on this thing. It'll be done in 2025. And Rich says he's going to be living out there. He actually lives right now. He lives over in McDonald Ranch. It's a pretty swanky place up there too. Two towers. One tower is going to be 23 stories. The other one's going to be 24 stories. 171 condos, the fine dining, strip view, the whole thing. And according to this release, they say that the starting price on some of these condos, a couple $1 million, $2 million. So $2 million starting price, and the penthouse starting at about $15 million. Evidently, there's quite a bit of interest in these towers already. So it's not as though they're going to be sitting there mothballing. No, it's not going to happen. They're going to happen. Matter of fact, it's called Panorama Towers. Many of you remember Panorama Towers. It's on the west side of the I-15, just across from basically, what is it? Vidara, those kind of cool places over there on the strip. That I was an electrician for many years, and the first time I ever was a foreman on a job was over at Panorama Towers, and we did 2 of the 3 towers there. So I did my first job that I did as a foreman, as an electrical foreman, was on Panorama Towers 1, and then the next one was on the second tower. I didn't do the third tower, but I did do the first 2 towers, and at the time, those towers were like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I mean they've got some cool towers that have been built since or close to that same time, but panorama towers, those were the cool. They were the they were the stuff, and so I think that was one of the coolest things about being in construction or being a part of Las Vegas is that I've been able to work on some really cool projects along the way. As a matter of fact, the first job I ever worked on was actually the Fremont Street Experience. I know. Yeah, I know. I worked on that for over a year, and we did the space frame. Yeah, we did the whole thing, and it was just very cool. Um, let's talk about something else here, though, folks. Because it's Labor Day weekend or Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people are getting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Maybe some people are just getting the whole weekend. You're taking 4 days. So let's talk about Lake Mead, though. So Lake Mead, and we'll do this before we have to leave. Okay, Lake Mead water levels. Yeah, it's getting really low, folks. Matter of fact, there's a story out that the Lake Mead water level is the lowest it's been since 1983. It is that low. It's at its maximum depth or full pool. And the last time it was that low was in 1983. It was 39 years ago. Okay. And it has just continued to go down and down over the last, especially the last 20 years. It's really accelerated its level of going down, and this is really concerning me. I've never really been concerned about the Lake Mead water level because we've seen it down before, but it's never been like this. We're at a third of what it should be right now. We're at 30% of Lake Mead, and we've got a lot of building projects. We've got, as a matter of fact, they were talking this morning about some water parks that are going up now. They're just starting to open up, and they're bragging about how much water they're using and stuff like that. And we really need to start conserving our water because we're at 30% right now of Lake Mead, and this has been this way for a long time. It's accelerating. It's getting worse, and we just don't want that. Okay, even though we get our water from the Colorado, and there's plenty of water in the Colorado, the amount of water that we are allocated here for Lake Mead and for this valley, they've got to do something here pretty soon. Uh, let's continue to talk about the Lake Mead area because a lot of people are wondering what are they going to do this weekend, though. Okay, for the Memorial Day weekend. Well, Lake Mead's one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be out on Lake Mead today. We're going to be out with Glenn Frank. He's the owner of Frankly Good Coffee. So we're doing a story about him anyways. So can't wait to see that. But it's Memorial Day weekend. And what is there actually out there to do for Memorial Day weekend? So once again, Lake Mead. Definitely go out there on Lake Mead. Have a great time out on the lake. Just be careful. I mean, seriously be careful because the water level is so much lower now. Things are going out there. Things are being exposed that you may not have ever seen before. Not just 55-gallon barrels, with body parts in them, but there could be a boat out there. There could be logs. There could be all kinds of stuff that is sticking up out of the water now. Just be very careful. But there's other things to do for this Memorial Day weekend. Okay, there's a story. Where's that story at? So there's a couple of events going on. One is out at Sky Canyon. So Sky Canyon's got their patriotic parade, and we'll leave links to all this stuff on our website. So don't worry about it, folks. We'll actually post this before the weekend, so you can actually plan your weekend. So Sky Canyon, their second annual. It's their second annual or third? I think it's their third annual. Third, it was right. Third annual. So their third annual patriotic car parade. It's on Saturday, the 28th. That's a day before my son's birthday. My son's birthday is Sunday, the 29th. He was just over last night. Thank you very much. He's a good kid. His name's Antonio. He's a great kid. The Elephant Parade. The Elephant Parade. Where is this at? I've never heard of this. It's Resorts World. Oh, that's very cool. And they'll actually coming Memorial Day till the 5th of September. Oh my gosh, you're taking over Resorts World. That should be interesting. Are they going to actually have elephants? What is this? So I think they're doing hand painted. I think it's a crafts type thing. Yeah, it's a crafts thing. So that'll be at Resorts World. That's very interesting. I've never heard of that. Military appreciation at Cabo Wabo, which will be really cool. And one of the cool things, there's actually a hockey tournament of the 2022 Memorial Day Classic Hockey Tournament. And we'll leave links to all of this stuff, so don't worry about it, folks. You'll actually get to see this stuff. One of the things I love doing for Memorial Day weekend, and we've done it for many, many years, we generally go out to Boulder City. There's nothing that says patriotism than being in a place where people really cherish the whole patriotic thing. And we consider Boulder City part of Las Vegas. It is actually closer to Boulder City from the center of Las Vegas than it is to Mount Charleston. Okay? It literally is. I mean, it's a lot closer, actually. And you can get out to Boulder City in 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to be out there this afternoon, going out on Lake Mead, as I was saying before. And it is just a cool place. You can actually go out to Boulder City, and there's a place out there, and tell them that you heard it from Sherman, is that there's a place called Sherman's. It's not my place, folks. This is not a plug for me. It's called Sherman's Antique Place. Many of you have heard of it before. And you can go out there and hang out at Sherman's and do antiquing, that kind of stuff. There's a brewery out there. It's just very, very cool. I mean, it really is. You know what we'll do? We're going to go a little long on the show today, folks, because there's so much more I've got to talk to you about. So let's take a real quick break, and we'll talk a little bit more when we come back, okay? Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We will be back in, I don't know, just a minute. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local. That's right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about some local happenings. And many of you know that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. It is also the weekend before my birthday. That's right, folks. Yes, you will get to say hello. Next week is actually my birthday. It's Tuesday, but it's been my birthday all month long, and so I wanted to tell everybody about it over and over and over. Actually, I forgot about my birthday. I did. I forgot because once you get to a certain age, it doesn't really matter. I ask you, does it really matter that your birthday, once you get past, 12, 13, whatever, who cares about birthdays? But my birthday is Tuesday, and I'll thank you everybody who's wishing me a happy birthday. I got to see my good friend Troy. Troy is the owner of High Coffee, and he's out in High Coffee is actually in it's actually not in Henderson. It's in Las Vegas. It is, but it's way off of Stephanie and the 215. And so if you get a chance to go out there, check out my friend Troy. He's got a great coffee shop out there, and we were out there yesterday before we taped our segment. And I'll tell you a little bit about our segment that we taped. We'll actually air it next week probably. It was a segment with Chris and Suzette Demery. They're the owners of GNC. and a great guy, just a great guy. Do some great things in the valley. So we'll air that next week. Um, Also, before we get going, there's a really a friend of mine reminded me to say something about this, and I did not. Her name's Linda McKnight, and Linda is a real big supporter over at the Smith Center, and so the Smith Center is having a lot of stuff going on, but Tootsie is out there. And so Linda wanted me to remind me to say, hey, something about Tootsie as a production. Very cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on at the Smith Center, so I want you to make sure that you check that out. And also, we're doing an article for the upcoming Livin Weekly magazine about the Huntridge. Okay, so the Huntridge Theater, many of you remember, it's a historical theater, a historical marker in Las Vegas, and we're gonna. If you want to hear a lot about the Huntridge, read this week's Livin Weekly magazine. Okay, just check that out. It's very cool that we did a story about that. Um, so let's talk about the Raiders. Okay, so Colin Kaepernick. Many of you know Colin Kaepernick. He's getting a tryout with the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders said, "Hey, we're going to give Colin a tryout, and he will not start because we've already got our starting guy, who's Derek Carr. But we do need a backup, and Colin Kaepernick has been fighting to get back in the NFL. Many of you remember Colin Kaepernick, a la the first kneeling athlete who was right on the front edge of the whole racial uprising here in the United States. And so Colin Kaepernick looks like he's going to be getting a tryout with the Raiders. Very interesting. Also in the news is John Gruden. Let's finish up with the Raiders story. John Gruden, who is the starting, he was actually our first coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, was back in court over his suit suing the NFL. And the NFL is having a bad day because they wanted to just kind of, push this whole thing with John Gruden under the rug, but John Gruden says, I don't think so. We're taking you to court, and he won in court. A judge ruled that the NFL's attempt to compel arbitration in the John Gruden lawsuit, they're not going to let him do it. They don't want to arbitrate. John Gruden's going through with a lawsuit over some racially tinged emails that were leaked to the public. This was just a couple of years ago. Yeah, actually a year ago. And it's just so John Gruden so I guess the question is, a lot of people are saying, well, will Gruden ever return to the Raiders? Because he was not fired by the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders family did not fire John Gruden. He stepped down. He said, look, this is too much, and I will step down. In a statement by the Raiders, they said no, we probably won't return. Probably unlikely that he'll return, even though he was not fired. But down the road, maybe not. Okay, so that is what it is. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk about Tony Hsieh. So there is actually, many of you know Tony Hsieh. I'll tell you, I was a big fan of Tony Hsieh because of what he attempted to do here in Las Vegas, and he believed in Las Vegas. Anybody who believes in Las Vegas as much as Tony Hsieh deserves our time. So there was actually a book that was written about him, and we're not going to go into the whole story right now because I really like to read this whole thing. There's actually a book called Happy at Any Cost. It's put up by Simon and Schuster. Writers Kirsten Grind and Catherine Sayer, I believe her name, or Sayer. So I want to read the whole book before I really make any comment on it. But we want to acknowledge Tony Hsieh because he's done some great things. He really did some great things for the city. He brought Zappos, his company, to the Las Vegas Valley from Henderson in an attempt to change the culture in the downtown area. And the cool thing about what Tony Hsieh was doing alongside with what Carolyn Goodman, Oscar Goodman were doing cannot be overstated. That they've actually changed the complexion of the downtown area. And I was never a big proponent of the downtown area. And many of you know, if you've lived here for any length of time, the downtown area has always been problematic. It's always just had kind of this thing about it. Well, Oscar Goodman and then Carolyn Goodman, former mayor, or the current mayor, Carolyn Goodman, and the former mayor, Oscar Goodman, believed that the downtown area of Las Vegas could become just this thing. I mean, a real tour de force. Tony Hsieh had that same vision, and he brought a buttload of money with him. He moved his company down into the old City Hall building and was breathing in a whole new culture to the Las Vegas downtown area. And now what you see in that downtown area, and I cannot, once again, overstate this, is that people got it and they started believing in the downtown area. Now you have a whole burgeoning craft brewery area, restaurants. They brought in another theater down there, all kinds of bars, and people go down there now. The whole First Friday thing, it's just a whole different vibe. And I'm going to make this statement right now. I am sold on downtown Las Vegas. I really am. I'm just sold on it. Would I move down there? Maybe, maybe not. But all of its ups and its downs aside, it has become a whole new place. And that's what it's all about. It really is. It's just become this cool vibe place. And I'm telling you, I think what is going to happen in the next couple of years, you're going to see even more life going on down there. As a matter of fact, we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about the Vegas Livin Expos. One of the areas we were looking at was downtown to begin to have our expos and to begin to do the stuff that we want to do. When we were starting our magazine, we were looking for property down there to house our company. So, we got a long way to go, but it is it's still very, very cool. I got to make this announcement real quick. My friend, because I'll freak out. All right, so folks, we love UNLV. We love the Las Vegas Aces, all the whole sports culture. This is actually a picture of my friend's daughter, and she runs for UNLV. Her name is her last name is Scott. Oh gosh, what's her name? I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Aaliyah Scott, and another track star. Her name is Emma Wallenmeyer. Both qualified for the prelims for the NCAA track regionals. And the reason why I bring this up is because my friend Lee Scott, this is his daughter. I went to high school with Lee, and his daughter he's been bragging about his daughter for weeks now. I mean, it's actually months, about how she's been doing in track, and we've been keeping an eye on her. And oh my gosh, she actually qualified 400-meter hurdles. And Emma Wallenmeyer, she actually qualified for the 800 meters. And so they're going to be doing some cool stuff. I'm very excited for them. We'll actually, so their schedule is Thursday. So today at 6:50 p.m., Aaliyah will be running the 400-meter hurdles. And I think at 7:50 p.m., Emma will be running the 800 meters. We'll update you on this tomorrow. We will. This is so exciting. Once again, we love UNLV. There's nothing UNLV cannot do that we will not tell you about. Okay. If folks, if you have anything that you would like to tell us about UNLV, the Raiders, or anything like that, just send me an email. info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com, and we will put it out and we'll tell everybody about it. Okay? Anyways, folks, we're out of time. We will see you again tomorrow for another, a rousing show of the Livin in Vegas podcast. This has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, think living in local. I'll see you again tomorrow for more of Livin in Vegas podcast.